A very good morning to all. Today we are going to start with a new unit number 6, that is nature. You can take page number 72 in your textbook and let's start with the do and learn activity. So the first one, it is given, name 5 trees that you have seen. So you all have seen different kinds of trees around you, right? Like the mango tree, coconut tree. So you can name any 5 trees that you have seen and you can write it here. Okay. Then the next one is you can collect dry leaves. Then you can make animal figures using these dry leaves. Then the next one, imagine you are going for a family picnic. Then what you have to do is you have to make a list of things that you take, then the games to play and about food and drinks. So you have to make a list of things that you take when you go for your family picnic. Then what you have to do is you can take a drawing sheet and in that drawing sheet you can collect the pictures of different sources of water from newspapers or from magazines and paste them in a drawing sheet. The other activity is you have to imagine yourself as a tree. Then you have to make a list of animals that you like to see on your branches. So all these you can do as an activity. So once you are done this, you can submit to Microsoft Teams. The next one is a song and you can listen to the song in the summer. So in the summer is a song that tells about the summer season. You all know summer season, the season where it is very, very hot. So we should always remember that we should always use water very, very carefully. So let's move to the chapter. The name of the chapter is The Selfish Tree. So let's start with the warm-up exercise given. Spot any 5 differences in these pictures. So here you can see 2 pictures and you have to spot 5 differences. So let's closely observe it and let's find the 5 differences. So see the flowers here. So how many flowers are there in the first picture? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What about in second picture? There are 4 flowers. So that is the first difference. Then the second one, in the first flower, you can see a leaf near to that. What about in the second picture? Can you see a leaf there? No. Right. So that is the second difference. Then let's see the third one. If you see the feather on the bird head, how many feathers are there in the first picture? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. What about in the second picture? There are 3. So that is the third difference. Now let's see the next one. What about the beak? So in the first picture and the second picture, the colors are different. The colors of the beaks are different. So that is the fourth difference. Now let's see the fifth one. So what about the tail of the bird? In the first picture and the second picture, the colors are different. So these are the 5 differences. If you just closely observe, you can find more differences. Below that, there is one more question. What words come to your mind when you think of trees? So when you think of trees, what do you come to your mind? We'll think of shade, right? Trees gives us shade. Then branches. When we think of trees, we'll think of branches. Then most of the trees are taller. Then leaves. So these are some of the words that comes to our mind when we think of trees. So moving on to the chapter that is about the selfish tree. So the name of the chapter is The Selfish Tree. So this is a story about a tree that did not want to share its shade. So there was once a grumpy tree and this tree was the biggest tree in that field. And this tree did not want to share its shade with anyone. And when the autumn came, you know what happened? The trees shed their leaves. And when the winter came, the tree started shivering. The tree was shivering because of the extreme cold. Then there came a little girl. And this little girl offered the tree a blanket. And the tree was very happy. The tree was very grateful. And the tree, in return, offered a gift to the girl that changed everything for the tree. So this is the story of selfish tree. So now you can take page number 74. So let's read the story and let's understand. There was once a grumpy tree. It was the biggest tree in the field. It did not need its shade for anything, but the tree could never share its shade with any of the animals. So there was once a grumpy tree. So what is the meaning of grumpy? Grumpy means angry or cranky. So, and this tree was the biggest tree in the field. And this tree was very selfish that it did not share its shade with anyone, with animals or birds. See the next one. Go away, shouted the tree, if any animal came to sit in its shade. It could start to shake its branches and frighten the animals and birds away. So, if any animal or bird came to sit in its shade, it will frighten them. This tree will frighten the animals and birds and shout them away. Soon the hot summer came to an end. In autumn, the tree shed all its leaves. So what happens during autumn season? It shed its leaves. When winter came, the bare tree thought it could die of cold. So winter season, it is the season when it is very cold. And the tree was very scared that it will die out of extreme cold. A little girl came to live with her grandma that winter. Her grandma's house was just across the field. One day, she went out to the field and found the big tree shivering. Then there was a little girl who was living along with her grandmother, just across the field. And she saw this tree shivering. Then what she did? I think this tree is feeling cold. I should do something for it, she said to herself. She went home and told Grandma about the shivering tree. Grandma gave her a thick shawl to keep the tree warm. So this little girl was very sad to see the tree shivering. So what she did was, she informed her grandmother. So what her grandmother did? Her grandmother gave her a thick shawl in order to keep the tree warm. This is for you, dear, said the little girl to the tree. She wrapped the shawl around it. Oh, thank you, said the tree. So the tree was very grateful to the little girl. So this little girl wrapped that thick shawl on the tree. And the tree was very happy and thankful to the girl. So what is the meaning of grateful? Grateful means thankful. This tree was very thankful to the little girl. What do you want in return? Asked the tree. You will get new leaves in spring. You will have a big shade that all can use. Please let everybody sit in your shade. Nobody will call you a selfish tree again. So this tree asked, what do you want me to do for you? So this little girl said, when spring comes, so in spring, the trees will get their leaves. When you get new leaves in spring, you should remember everyone. You should give shade to everyone. You should give shade to animals and birds. The tree felt ashamed. Thank you, my dear. I will keep your words in mind, it said quietly. So the tree felt ashamed. That means, ashamed means sorry. It felt very sorry for being very selfish. When spring came, the tree thought of the girl's kind words. When she sat next to the trunk, the tree bent down to shade her from the sun. When the animals came, the tree gave them shade as well. The tree was no longer selfish. It had become kind and friendly. So what happened when spring came? This tree gave shade to everyone. This tree gave shade to animals and birds. And it became very kind and friendly. So this is the story of selfish tree. So I hope you all understood this story. So what you can do is, you have to read the story once and understand it. So we'll meet in the next class and we'll discuss the exercise. Till then, thank you.